THE VIRGIN of Guadalupe by Langston Hughes. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Reading by Matt Berard. After the coming of the Spaniards, who brought priests and missionaries as well as soldiers to conquer Mexico, most of the subdued Indians were converted to the faith of the Catholics. The ancient Indian temples to barbaric gods were torn down by the Europeans who built new Christian churches in their stead. Thus it came about that the brown men learned to worship the saints and idols brought by the invaders and so forgot their old gods. One day a pious follower of the Spaniards' faith, Juan Diego by name, was returning from mass across the hill of Guadalupe, when suddenly a veiled figure, all light and beauty, appeared before him. The poor Indian was much astonished and filled with surprise when the woman spoke to him, and commanded in a soft voice that he go to the bishop and tell his Excellence to construct a church on the hill where the figure was standing. This Juan did, or attempted to do, but the bishop's servants, thinking the man a common, ignorant Indian, would not give him admission to the house, so Juan Diego went back. For a second time the vision appeared before him, issuing the same command in her beautiful voice, so the Indian returned in search of the bishop. Each time, however, he was refused an entry, but the vision told him to persevere. Finally, after many days, he was admitted, and the old father asked him what he wished. When Juan Diego told of the beautiful spirit and her message, the bishop could not believe such a tale, and thought perhaps that the poor fellow was demented. At last he told the Indian that he would have to bring some sign or token of proof in support of his strange words. Once more the man returned to the hill, and there at its foot the bright vision reappeared. Hearing the message that the bishop had sent, she said, "Pluck those flowers there at your feet." But Juan Diego, standing on the bare and rocky earth, asked, "What flowers?" Then suddenly, looking down, he saw the ground covered with white blossoms, which he began to pick, and with which he filled his small woven tilma, or mantle, used to wrap about his shoulders on cold mornings. Then he went to the bishop and said, "Here is your sign." Opening the mantle, the white flowers rolled out at their feet. The bishop looked, but still more marvelous than the flowers, the surprised priest saw, painted on the mantle where the blossoms had been, the figure of the Virgin surrounded by a halo of light. "This," he said, "is surely the proof." So they proceeded to erect the church on the top of the hill. Later a magnificent cathedral was built at its foot, where the tilma bearing the picture of the Virgin is preserved to this day. Above the altar, and on the spot where the vision first appeared, a spring of water gushed forth, and is now covered by a pretty shrine where people may stop to drink. Once a year a great fiesta is held in honor of this patron saint of Mexico, and many people come from far away to visit her. Any day when one cares to take a trip out to the stately church where she is housed near Mexico City, her faithful worshipers may be seen going on their knees the long distance from the outside door to the high altar, carrying white candles in their hands, crawling up to place them before her, La Virgen de Guadalupe, whose name is known and loved by all Mexico. End of The Virgin of Guadalupe by Langston Hughes.